Brian McCarthy Interview Show. If you're under 18, don't listen. Having said that, the show is really awesome. And if you did listen, no one would really know. But don't listen. Don't listen, kids. Okay? Don't listen.
Niños, escuchen estas palabras mientras que salen de mis labios aprietos. El siguiente programa, aunque esto sea muy divertido para toda la gente, no es para los niños. Como un burro que busca agua fría, un balde, y eso le va a dar toda la satisfacción que necesita, esta agua no es para ustedes. Por favor, vayan donde sus padres. Ayúdelos a limpiar los baños. No vayan a escuchar esto. Es muy importante. Que Dios nos bendiga a los Estados Unidos.
Enfants du monde, détournez les yeux et bouchez-vous les oreilles. Le programme suivant, bien que spectaculaire et divertissant à tous égards, n'est pas pour vous. Veuillez vous détourner et jouer dans les Champs-Élysées ou peut-être dans les catacombes humides de Paris, car devant vous se trouve la ruine. Vous avez été prévenus, s'il vous plaît. N'écoutez pas, et pourtant, sachez que nous faisons tout cela pour vous, car vous êtes l'avenir et vous êtes la lumière. Que Dieu vous bénisse et dit bonjour à votre mère de ma part.
你好，圆眼睛的年轻人，请晋升阅读本内容，因为本内容仅供成年人阅读。如果你违背父母意愿选择阅读本内容，他们将不再爱你，你这个老兵。
Utatakoa obiaseke miazane otatia ulube kwa teazate usepo tatukua kalimu uko umnakwe akasume utatakoa obiaseke miazane otatia ulube kwa teazate uyoba obisha abichina.
Brian McCarthy Interview Show. Adam is now drinking his Coke. Disco. Listen to that beat. Breaking it down in Uptown. Take your hand and touch it. Now rub it. Brian McCarthy Interview Show. Listen to that beat. Touch it. Now rub it. I wish I could still drink.
Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble. That's the whole show. An hour and a half of that. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 2025 Thanksgiving Spectacular. I tell you, people think we're always doing a Thanksgiving show because we have such a foul mouth.
Okay, I thought you were going to say because we're jive turkeys.
I was going to get into that with my. I had another 40 minutes of this.
Sure,
So,
yeah, right. Let's pace ourselves. With the turkey puns.
Hey, stuffing. All right. Anyway, welcome to the show. My name is Brian McCarthy. Sitting stage right is Adam Hineker, and if you're watching, you can tell we're at a hot, gay, black Thanksgiving party. We're all.
Almost look like three buff Nigerian fellas.
Oh God, where's whatever happened to Justin? What was the guy's name? Justin Smollett.
Jussie Smollett. I guess there's a documentary on Netflix that
there's everyone.
I have heard few
that's
people.
Eddie Murphy. They don't all look alike.
I have heard a few
How
people.
Dare you?
A few people say it was actually Lawrence Fishburne. I've heard a few people say, where like I watched it and they felt conflicted. They almost felt like they painted a neutral enough picture or created enough like reasonable doubt that maybe Jussie Smollett could be telling the truth, which that's hard to believe for me.
I don't think
I
so.
can't believe that.
I mean, I just meant more like, can your career recover after?
No,
No,
you're that guy forever.
Can you imagine that? Like
that's like shitting your pants in like grade school. You're that guy.
Yeah, but sometimes you think about it, you've got enough sort of going for you in that, America loves a second chance. You know what I mean? And you're gay.
People like George Santos. I mean, like he kind of has like 9 lives, right? So I mean, I guess
I cannot believe that guy got out of prison.
we gotta get him.
I think
it's get him.
I think it's $1,200. I think.
Okay, he does an in-person cameo.
He just shows up. And you're like, it's. Oh, by the way, just a couple.
Yeah,
a little
go
bit.
ahead. Sorry, we're derailing things.
Just doesn't take us long. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this. Remember, please just like and subscribe or click the fucking click something. Who cares? I don't know. I mean, I always get annoyed when I watch these things, and they do. I watch this one guy on TikTok who does he runs a restaurant. He's this big, heavy set guy, and he's always like, I run a restaurant in Fort Lauderdale, and these are the 5 scams that waiters do to you. Or he tells these long-winded stories about how people left and didn't pay for their fucking popcorn shrimp or something. And I'm always like, and he was always like, TikTok's been fucking me over, so you better please click on this and this and this. And I never do any of it. I mean, I've once done it, but I'm always like, fuck this guy. So please, number one, if you order potato skins, just pay for them. And that's my line. That's my hot take. But
never get your calamari mulberry style. It's a scam. Mulberry Street style.
What is that, by the way? Is that really
It's
a
like
thing?
when they like toss it in like a spicy marinara.
Oh,
It's actually very good.
Yeah.
I recommend it.
Yeah, but I feel like if you get calamari and if you get it tossed in something, it'll make it not as crispy.
You are correct.
Yep.
And here's the thing: went to Arthur and Sons the other day, and got the calamari mulberry street style, and it is, first of all, a huge portion,
right?
And my girlfriend and I are both on Ozempic,
Sure.
so we didn't make a dent in that thing.
Stare at
and you're right. It like the clock's ticking.
As a matter of fact, I worked in a restaurant when I first moved to New York, and it was actually a nightmare because it was a place called the Coconut Grill, and it was like a nice, actually right around the corner from here. And the place was, but if you work there, I was a waiter, and if that was when I worked there, and Billy Baldwin, I waited on Billy Baldwin, and Billy Baldwin did not have me wait on him because I made fun of him. So he thought I made fun of him.
What did he think you said?
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the Baldwin family are a group of actors,
humorless
actors
from Long Island,
angriest. And like they're like those Russian nesting dolls. One's worse than the other. So
yeah, and as they get smaller, they get more weird, radically Christian.
Yeah. Stephen Baldwin is
depraved.
Yeah, he's 4'9", and he spends all of his days standing in front of the last peep show in Westchester trying to get it closed. So you have Alec
with Kirk Cameron.
Alec is a big one. Alec is 87 years old, and he's married to a woman who pretends to be Puerto Rican, and they have 45 children, 2 of whom are weirdly 3 months apart, which I don't really know how that works.
Yeah,
but
doesn't he have like 8 kids or something?
They're stacked, like they're 8 kids, but his wife, I mean, look, we all know the joke, but his wife is like, she's from Connecticut, but her family had like she just did a long weekend in Barcelona, and she came back and she was like, I am a bullfighter now. Yes. And she was like a production assistant on 30 Rock, and she was like, I'm gonna fuck Alec Baldwin, so she did, and now they have 14 kids. But some of the kids are like, they don't, their births don't line up. Like there's like Irish twins are,
I got some of those in my family.
10 months apart. But some of these kids are like, this is my son John, he was born in May, and this is his biological sister, and she was born 3 months later. You're like, how does that work?
But I have 2 aunts that are Irish. Well, one of them's dead, but that are Irish. Wait, no,
she died. Did she die of embarrassment?
Fuck, her husband died. She's alive. She's
okay,
alive.
very close. Sounds like.
But
she here Thanksgiving.
They are Irish. They are both twins. And Irish twins at the same time.
Wow.
Yeah, because my mom's from a big Irish Catholic family.
A lot of chromosomes not splitting.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
anyway,
but I think like some of the kids are like naturally born. Some of them are, I don't know, what do you call them? Fucking in vitro or what? I don't know what they've got going on. But then you have Daniel Baldwin, who was in Vampires with the John Carpenter movie with fucking what's this guy's James Woods, who's now going crazy.
Oh God,
yeah,
that guy gone crazy, but crazier.
Yeah, and then Daniel Baldwin. I remember years ago, I remember like the last thing I know about him, even without him being in like movies or whatever, was he was on like a crack, like a fueled drug binge at the Plaza Hotel, and they had to like get him out of his room with like the jaws of life or something. Right. And he's one of the normal Baldwins. Then you have Billy Baldwin, who I guess he was in movies, and I guess he's in like a TV show, Blue Blood maybe or something. I don't know. But he was like the one that was kind of like the most normal one. He married, I want to say Cynthia Phillips from Wilson Phillips.
Okay.
He married didn't marry the heavy one.
Okay.
He married
Wilson Phillips.
Yeah. He married one of the Wilson Phillips girls. I know that. He didn't marry the heavy one. And I don't know if he married the cute blonde one with the short hair, and whose sister used to fuck her dad, Mackenzie Phillips. Remember that one? Remember she was in One Day at a Time? I know this is a real rabbit hole. Everyone,
I don't know, but
we've lost every listener. All 7 of them have left the building. Okay. Mackenzie Phillips was in a show called Remember Schneider and Bonnie McFarlane?
A little bit. I'm aware of the show, but I never watched it.
Bonnie McFarlane, when Rich Voss played, Rich Voss was Schneider. Okay, you got your drainage clogged. Okay, Stop fucking your dad, all right? Get to a meeting, all right? All right?
Get to a
Get to a meeting, Mackenzie Phillips. Okay? Let me tell you, this is ridiculous. You guys, you're all a bunch of fucking weirdos, okay? Not for you sure per diem for this? Anyway, so I love Rich and Bonnie, of course. Bonnie, I'm thinking of Bonnie Francis.
Okay.
Am I thinking of Bonnie Francis? She had the one lazy eye, and she was in One Day at a Time. Okay.
This is out of my depth.
Oh, let's just start
I don't
over.
know.
Let's start the whole
Should
show
we
over.
scrap it?
No, never. That would make too much sense. We never scrap. By the way, if you listen to
anything,
no,
there's
no
the history.
There's no rewind on this show. So anyway, point is Billy Baldwin was in a movie called I think it's called Sliver, and it was about he played a wealthy guy who was a developer, and he owned a high rise, and Sharon Stone was one of his I don't know, tenants. Right. Is this ringing a bell with you at all?
Yeah, that does. Sliver
Okay.
does. I don't know that I've ever seen the film.
Well,
but I'm aware of it.
okay. So this place where I worked was called was called Coconut Grill, and Billy Baldwin was there with his friend, and I had just saw, and this was like, you have to understand, there's a movie called Basic Instinct, and Sharon Stone was in Basic Instinct, and when that fucking movie came out, everybody, because she flashed her pussy in the movie, and the guy that played Newman was one of the cops in it, and what's his name? Michael Douglas was like the alcoholic cop, and it was directed by Joe Esterhazy, or at least written by. The movie was like super sexy, and it came out in '92, I think. And I remember I saw the movie on 86th Street by myself, and I went and saw I couldn't wait to see the movie. And I went to saw it at like 1 p.m.
wearing a raincoat.
I'm not even making this up. I went and sat in the theater. There were like 11 other guys in the theater.
Sure.
And everybody was jerking off. The whole fucking theater. It was like everyone.
For real?
Yes. Well, okay. Everyone sat suspiciously far away enough from each other.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was just super quiet in there. And everyone was just watching the movie until Sharon Stone came out. And like, then if people, you could almost, I mean, it's a loud movie, but it was like, yeah, zip. It was like cartoon noises. Boing. I looked over at guys' eyes. They're like, ooga, ooga.
Stairs. Slot machine eyes. Cherries.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. All the tropes. All the tropes.
Right. Yeah. I just stood up and I pointed to the screen.
Hubba.
I said, I'll have what she's having. Just another stupid
Look at the
movie.
gams on that one.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, I just lost about 4 ounces of weight. Look over, there's two guys just blowing each other. But yeah. So Sliver was her sophomore effort.
Was that was the follow up?
That was, or at least it
whatever.
It was the movie that came out.
And it was like a sexy movie, right?
It was a sexy movie. He was a guy. He was a hot young real estate mysterious
Billy Baldwin.
I
picture what he even looks
fucking gorgeous. And
is he the real Christian one?
No, that's Stephen Baldwin.
Stephen Baldwin. Gotcha.
I actually have a Stephen Baldwin story too, if you want to hear.
Holy Christ!
I called in. By the way, I called into Bennington earlier this week. Boy, did I eat a dick again?
Oh no!
I'll never learn.
I mean, that's become kind of a.
It's my thing now.
But though I will say the last one where you were like you said you ate a dick wasn't nearly as bad as you had made it sound.
I'm very hard on myself.
The Charles Barkley one. I mean, they were completely silent for the entire story, but it wasn't like
it. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, we'll come back to that. But
yeah. We're on Billy right now.
Yeah. So in this movie Sliver, I remember it came out and everyone was like, how naked will she show her asshole in this one? Like, how naked will Sharon Stone? Because you have to remember, Sharon Stone was in Total Recall, and that was kind of her breakthrough, but she didn't really do anything in that. I mean, she was like, married to Arnold Schwarzenegger, but in Total Recall. And but then she was in Basic Instinct, and of course that was like her big fucking shows her pussy, and she was like she was like, she would go on interviews and be like every time we made the movie, I would just fuck everybody on this, even the grip and the craft services. I would just suck everyone's dicks, and I was a whore.
Is that real?
No, but I mean, it was like the movie was very much.
She was all sexed up.
It was like there was no script. They just turned the camera on, and I just wanted to show the big fat guy who played Newman. I wanted to show him my pussy, and he was also in Jurassic Park, and I wanted to show him my snatch. And Michael Douglas, I gave him herpes in his mouth.
Yeah, he actually got throat cancer from
just by looking at
just
me.
by being in the room.
Yeah. Just by my vagina just gave him herpes just from across the room.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So anyway, so blah blah blah. So when the Sliver movie came out, I think it was a big dud, but I went and saw it in the theater, and I remember everyone it was more people then. It wasn't such a fucking jerk fest than when I saw it. And then like a couple days later, I was working, and Billy Baldwin was there. And this actually, I did the same. I used the same line with him that I used when I saw Chris Rock around the same time. So Billy Baldwin, I was waiting on him and his friend, and I went up and I said, "Oh, hey," and I mean, look, I was fucking 18 and 3 months old or something. I was a little kid, and Billy Baldwin, I cannot believe people let me run around New York. And Billy Baldwin was like, "Hey," I said, "Oh, Billy Baldwin." He goes, "Hey," he was like, "Really? Hey, how you doing, Billy Baldwin? How you doing? Hey, what's up? Yeah, is that my brother over there?"
Charmed, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, good.
In the flesh.
All right,
because people like that. Yeah, Alec Baldwin's brother is probably pretty excited to be recognized.
Well, at this point, by the way, he was like
in many ways,
he was the up and coming
in a lot of ways.
And you forget there, by the way, there was a sweet spot for these Baldwins. I mean, Stephen Baldwin was in The Usual Suspects. He was in The Flintstones. He was in Encino Man, I believe.
I don't know. Couldn't tell.
No, he was in Biodome. Sorry.
Oh, well, Pauly Shore.
That was at the 8th inning of his career. I think that was when he was kind of like
Pauly Shore vehicle.
That was like one of the last. That wasn't Son-in-Law Pauly Shore. That was like it was the end of the Pauly Shore's box office reign. Right. So anyway, so Billy Baldwin and I said, "Oh, I just saw Sliver," and he was kind of like, "Oh, great, I'll have the chicken." You're like, "Oh, great, that's cool." And I just kind of hammered it in there. I said, "I'd like my $6 back."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, "All right, I'll be back with drinks." And then I went to
holy shit.
And I went to the sidebar, the what do you call it, the service bar.
Yeah.
And my manager came over, David Chang. I remember him.
David Chang, not the David Chang.
No.
Okay.
Unless he went on to great things, I don't think so. This is another David Chang.
Okay.
Nice guy. But David Chang, and he came over. He thought I was always very funny. He came over and he was like, "Did you still Billy Baldwin? You want your money back?" And he saw his movie. I was like, "Yeah." And he goes,
"Yeah." You're like, "Yeah, I really got him. I really got the guy that I want a tip from."
What is it? Yeah, fuck that guy. Right. Yeah, fuck Billy Baldwin.
Wow.
Yeah. So he came over and he goes, "Yeah, I think Tanya's going to take that table here."
Definitely.
But what was awkward, it was like, it wasn't like she took my whole section, because I remember I had to go back, and these are like little two tops that are right next to each other.
Just took one table that you're in your orbit.
So I got to go next to I was like the spurned girlfriend. I'm looking at Billy Baldwin.
Hilarious. You were scoffing at Baldwin.
Yeah, I was just having fun with you. Jesus Christ.
Take a joke.
Why don't you go marry China Phillips, you fucking asshole? Anyway, so that was
that's
Billy,
funny.
Yeah, it was Billy Baldwin.
And I like that you I'm just curious how you thought that was going to play out. I mean, I know you're 18 and a half, and I guess it's sort of the unfortunate situation where you have a good zinger.
Yeah.
Despite your circumstances.
I have an informed answer for you, and I think that it's important for people. I mean, look, who gives a shit, really? Yeah. But like a lot of times in my life, I'll think about, wouldn't it be funny if this happened?
Yes.
If this person, I sometimes I don't even like taking account I'm the person doing it. Yeah. I pull myself out of it, and I look down and I go, wouldn't it be? It's like 4D chess. I look down and I go, wouldn't it be funny if this fucking weird little weirdo, lonely waiter, nobody walked up, and Billy Baldwin, his first starring role in a major motion picture, and he just decides he's going to bust this guy's balls.
Completely unexpected.
Yes.
Just out of nowhere.
Look, you have to, when I was 15 living in Baltimore, my idea was I tried to run away twice. And my idea, the first time I was going to run away, was I saw Down and Out in Beverly Hills, which is the movie with Nick Nolte, where Nick Nolte shows up and he tries to kill himself in a pool, and the family takes him in. It's like Bette Midler's the mom, the dad is Richard Dreyfuss, and it's a really funny movie. If you've never seen Down and Out in Beverly Hills, it's really, really funny. There's a dog psychiatrist in the movie, and the dog psychiatrist,
hysterical.
He gets on his hands and knees, and the dog's name is Matisse, and he goes, "Oh, Matisse, why are you so sad?" It just makes me laugh. Oh, Matisse, why are you so sad?
So he's a dog. There's not a psychiatrist that's a dog, but a guy that's a psychiatrist for dogs.
Wasn't the Fred McMurray Shaggy Dog?
I thought
movie?
maybe, yeah, I
that
thought
would be
it was
awesome.
Kind of a
remade with Tim Allen, I believe.
like a Family Guy situation.
By the way, Tim Allen has had so much plastic surgery. He looks Asian now. Like
Yeah.
he
He looks a little Asiatic.
yes. Home improvement. Anyway, so my point is
You tried to run away, but you had taken
so when I was 15,
some inspiration from Down and Out in Beverly. What was the movie?
88, I'm 15. I'm in a very I had failed 7th grade. I was back in it was a very if it isn't the worst time of my life, I have some rough years ahead of me. It was a very rough time of my life. And my father was just in the depths of alcoholism and things were just terrible. Like left and right, things were terrible. I was having fun. I was getting laid weird, kind of laid. I was jerking off to people a lot, like for 15-year-old.
It wasn't always consensual.
A lot of raping.
Sometimes in elevators.
Yeah.
Had to be quick.
No, there was this friend. I got kicked out of my 2nd year of 9th grade and for having acid. And there was this kid from St. Louis who I was friends with, but I was getting horribly bullied. It was literally like a shit show. So my plan was I was going to live in this kid that I knew had a house with like an external, like a detached garage. I was going to live above the external garage. He was going to, I believe he was going to rob his parents, get some money, and he and I were going to take a bus to California, to Los Angeles. And then I was going to knock on somebody's door in Beverly Hills and just be funny and charming. And they'd let me live in their guest house until I got famous. That was literally my big plan. I was like, this is going to work. And then the day that I was loaded up and I had my bags and I was ready to like get to my friend's place, my stepfather came home early and was like, why do you have these bags? Like, what are you
where
doing?
You going?
And I had to like shut. Luckily, he didn't really. I think he would have been so happy if I was like, I'm leaving. He
If you had said like, I'm running away, he would have been like,
here's $300. Would you sign something?
Will you stay?
He would have. Will
you stay gone?
Yeah. He would have like try to jip me down a little bit. I was going to say the other word, but he was going to jip me down a little bit. I'm like, I need 500. He's like, I'll give you 220. So anyway, so I wasn't. So in my mind, when I was 18, I was like, this would be. And here's the thing. Years later, now here we are now, 60 years later. And now it's funny to me that I actually did that. And it's funny to me that I had just the idea that I thought that would be funny. I didn't think it'd be funny for me at the time, but I was like, this is going to be so ridiculous if I do this. And the fact that somebody,
now, did you have a plan of scouting like whose door you were going to knock on, or were you just going to pick like a kind of
I'm glad you asked. I was
Brentwood mansion or something.
I was going to buy one of those maps of the stars homes.
Okay, so you were going to scout out like maybe a producer or something.
Yeah, not the star, but the next door, like somebody in that area.
Okay,
I figured I didn't want to show up at like a Persian family's house because then they would just call the police. I wanted some like lovable, like Jewish guy who was like an accountant for like, I don't know, like,
yeah,
like,
in the pictures,
like Tom Bosley from maybe Tom Bosley's neighbor or something.
Okay,
they look at me and be like,
maybe you find some, if you really did your research, and find some empty nesters, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that are really looking to nurture.
My luck, it would be a gay sex cult.
Well, I was going to say there's also a 98% chance you would have ended up in Gay for Pay.
Come on in. Look hungry.
Basically, it would become Boogie Nights.
Yes. Put on these handcuffs for a game. Like, I'm dead within 3 hours. They make me eat my own penis. Here, chew it up and eat it. You're a star in our world.
We had up on Ed Gein's.
Yeah, exactly.
Cabana.
Yeah.
You know,
yes.
Hacienda.
We have a place where you can live. It's under the floorboard. All chopped up. Our little chopped up boy.
You can crash in the crawl space.
Yep.
Forever.
Do you guys want to see I would just be like a party trick. You guys want to see a runaway? I mean, they're like, bro, help me. We cut his tongue out because he would stop screaming. His stepfather gave him $240. Isn't that hilarious? What a little asshole. Yeah.
Pretty good.
You want us to introduce you to Jason Bateman because you said he was a hunk? You fucking weirdo. Anyway, so that was Billy Baldwin. So that was it. So point is Billy Baldwin, Alec Baldwin, and of course now I completely lost the train of thought. I don't remember initial.
One thing
The one thing I did want to mention to you is, and I know like we didn't last week, we did the show with Stunning John. Hello, thank you. That was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
for sure.
Oh, no Barry ribs.
Yeah, somebody did. Jimmy wanted to
Sorry,
wear his
Jimmy.
ribs.
Okay, so
yeah, maybe we explain what happened.
it's pretty easy. We talked to Barry on the phone, as you may have heard, because I put the clip. I haven't put the clip out yet, but we talked to Barry on the phone, and I was like, "Oh, I have him on the show," and he was like, "You gonna pay me?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll pay $50."
Yeah, kind of
And
per
then-
diem.
And then per diem, and then he was, "Don't interrupt me." Was that what he said? He said, "Don't interrupt me," which is fine.
Dead silence. He's telling us to not.
Yeah, and I get that
Yeah.
joke. I get the whole thing. Look, I would like to have him on the show. The bottom line is, I thought we had a guest today. At least that's the story. And I thought, no, I'm just kidding. I thought Tanya was going to do the show.
Okay,
today.
Tanya
And-
Torres.
Yep, Tanya Torres. And then she canceled a couple of days ago. And then she said, but we were going to have lunch yesterday.
Hmm.
And then she canceled lunch.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all right. And so I didn't want. So I had already booked Tanya. So was I a little annoyed that Barry was like, I want you to pay me $50, and then he was like, and then he wanted us to pay him the $50 like the day of the
second
booking.
so while we were doing the show,
Right.
I saw he had sent the PayPal link,
Right.
and then a follow up that said, "Can you pay me now? I have bills to pay."
Yeah.
And at that moment, I knew Barry's not going to be here next.
Yeah,
Barry
well, no.
Barry is no longer with us. Like, I just knew that there would be no way, that you could
Well,
bridge the gap
If I could have said
of
it,
expectations.
look, if we had not thought we were booking Tanya, we've also never paid a guest before. We have paid like when
paid for transportation, but
yes,
not.
Laney. We've never paid an appearance fee. And if anybody's gonna get $50, it's, I don't know, it's Howard or somebody, but I don't want to fucking open that can of worms.
Right.
That can of pickled worms. So anyway, if Barry in the future, if he wants to come on the show, of course, I'm such a pussy because I sent him a message and I was like, "Hey, listen, we may have somebody coming, a double booked you. Really sorry. We'll get you on the show in January." And then I just blocked him because I didn't want to hear.
The
Go ahead.
you blocked him on text.
On text. That's right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of felt bad because he's texted me over the last probably year, and I just don't. But he's always like saying, "Come to my show in like New Jersey," and like
Yeah.
he.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, no, I don't even know if I would. I mean, I'd come to your show if it was in my neighborhood.
You come to your show if it was in your living room.
Yeah.
No, but here's the thing.
Let's
Number
make
one,
that happen.
we don't go anywhere. I mean, at least I don't. I really don't go anywhere. But you don't.
Yeah,
You're not gonna.
not
And
really.
also, when this guy goes, I know we enjoy an international audience. Atlantic City is about 110 miles away from here.
Yeah.
So if he said, "I'm coming up from Atlantic City," I'm like, all right. Number one, that's fine. It's none of my business where you live. But like at the same time, it's like, it just turned.
Yeah. Well, he kept sending me things for. He was like at the Stress Factory. It was like New Brunswick, but I'm like,
that's
I'm
still a
not.
hike.
Like, I'm not really even much of
No.
a stand-up. I don't see a lot of stand-up comedy
You
anyways.
don't. You don't see a lot of stand-up comedy.
No.
No. Puppet shows. Yes, you will go to a puppet show. You don't care where it is.
Mhm.
Anywhere in the tri-state area.
Oh yeah.
Northern Connecticut, Litchfield. Oh, sure, I'll get up there.
I just love the medium.
Fuck, what do you like, steak too?
Yeah.
And I actually just saw, if you have an opportunity, those of you out there, I just saw Louis C.K. last weekend. I went to the Beacon, and it was a good show. I was saying to my wife and I went, and I said, "Boy, I'm like a deadhead for Louis C.K. I saw him twice at the Bell House in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I saw him once at the Garden Theater, the Madison Square Garden Theater. Then I saw him at the Garden, the actual big garden. That was
Wow.
4 times. Then a 5th time at the Manhattan Center. I'm not doing these in the right order. And then the 6th time was
I didn't
just.
realize you had seen him that many.
I know, me neither. I was like, wow, I'm like a real.
And you always
fan.
play hacky sack and make stir fry out front of the shows.
Yeah, I do. I sell unlicensed merch.
Your Volkswagen
Yeah.
bus.
I sell big things of lube, and I take the Jergens label off, and I wrote CK fucking jerk off lube.
CKY. Wait.
Yeah.
KY. CKY.
Oh, that'd be great, actually.
Yeah.
Honestly, Louis, you're leaving a lot of money on the
To
table.
be used non-consensually.
Yeah, exactly. It comes with a thing of
Fucking
chloroform.
always takes you by surprise.
Yeah, don't tell nobody or tell everybody. You can only use this if you work for me.
He is one of the only guys that was ever like, when he got canceled, he was like, yeah, I'm a fucking sicko. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
That's kind of admirable. I mean, it sucks that that's like the bar.
Well, what's interesting is
But
like
it's like, he owned up to it.
he it's interesting that he kind of came back, but it's not in the same context.
No, not in
it's
the,
not
yeah.
like he'll never host SNL again. You don't see him on The View.
You
again.
also never know.
Although, well, you're right, and I do want to touch on that for a minute. But I would think it's funny though if they brought him out on like The View, and they brought him out like in one of those like one of those Silence of the Lambs things. You know, they bring him out. He's got on like oven mitts and like a thing, and the Whoopi's like, "You better not jerk off on me, Louis. I know how you is jerking off on everybody here."
Foghorn leg.
Yeah, I know. Joy
boy.
Joy Behar is like wearing one of those like welder's masks. Joy Behar is like,
that would be fun. That would actually be a pretty fun. She's dressed like a beekeeper.
yeah, that would be.
I want to
fucking
get any on
great.
me.
Yeah, everyone comes out. They're just covering. He's covered in like a Reynolds wrap. Or, no. What's the other one? Saran wrap and everything. Yeah, that would be great. Just a mouth hole.
Yeah, it's a good time.
It was a good
The
time.
big comeback, Louis' big comeback.
You know, it's funny because
CUM.
it's a few weeks ago. I was watching SNL. I don't think we talked about this, but I know it's going to sound like I can't wait to talk about Shane Gillis. But unfortunately, it's just Shane Gillis happens to be on the thing. But you know, for years, and this goes even.
Wait, was he on again this week?
Did we talk about him being on as Zorhan?
Yeah, we
Oh,
already talked.
we
Yeah,
talked
we
about
did.
that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was.
Yeah, because you know what it was. Somebody was talking about. I happened. You know what's gotten in my algorithm is that Mark Normand and who's the other guy?
Joe List.
I thought it was Sam Morrill.
Oh, Sam. Oh, that's his other show.
Okay,
Yeah. Sam Morrell.
Sam Morrell, right. They have a podcast and they were talking and they were talking about Jim Gaffigan, and Jim Gaffigan was complaining about being on SNL and like losing road money because he had to do it on the weekends to be Tim Wentz.
Tim Waltz.
Tim Waltz, right. There you
Yeah.
go. And but it was funny because you know my position on this remains unchanged. You know, I don't understand why. And again, it's been like this for a million years, but I understand why you'd bring in like Madonna or somebody like a big name to come in and kind of be like, oh, I'm going to be with the church lady or whatever. But to like bring in somebody just to play some weird little character and not use the cast that
I
you've
think
hired.
you can get somebody to be like,
like
act Midwestern.
you couldn't
there's
find
probably somebody.
Yeah. And even with I know we're going to revisit the Shane thing for a second, but even like with the Shane thing, it's like Shane's not even from New York. Like,
And why Curtis Sliwa? Like, it has nothing to do with Curtis Sliwa.
It has nothing to do. So it didn't make any sense to me. And it was just like the whole thing makes him look thirsty. It makes the show look desperate. And you've got, 800 cast members who are standing around with their thumbs up their asses being like, what? I couldn't fucking do this.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it is desperate. I mean,
It
that's
is.
all it.
Yeah.
It's all it is now. It's just like, like trying to go viral on TikTok. It's just trying to be relevant.
Yeah. And just meanwhile, let your cast member come up and do it. Who cares? Like,
Right. I mean, I guess I don't know.
Everyone's got $1 billion already. Who gives a fuck? If I was fucking Lorne Michaels is like in his 80s. If I was Lorne Michaels, I'd be like, we're gonna do every show in black and white. Who cares? We're just gonna do everything. That's it. We're gonna do.
Well, it's probably it's probably hard to. I mean, like, because they have to get you got to hit a certain level of ratings or whatever in the late. I mean, so they're just kind of like scrambling, probably.
Yeah, but
to
but
keep
again,
their head above water.
They've been bringing out like stunt casting for years and years and years.
But it's been ratcheted up.
Yes, and they also ratchet up with people that you're like. Not like I said. I mean, like I remember watching that the thing with Coffee Talk, right? Which was that Mike Myers thing where he played his mother-in-law and everything. And then they would bring out like Barbara Streisand would come out. It would be a huge pop for the audience. I'm like, oh, that's fucking Barbara Streisand. But like to have come out and you got to squint and be like, why is Shane Gillis playing Curtis Sliwa? Like, number one, the guy lives in Texas. Maybe he flew in. Did he fly in for this? Is he in town anyway? Like, I don't know. But you think somebody would be like, look, we can just use a cast member. Although I will tell you one funny thing. I told you this last weekend I watched it, and it was pretty funny. And I don't even know who the guy was who's the host. It was some white guy. I don't remember. I'm sure he's very successful. I mean, obviously, but like, I don't know who the fucking guy was. But he was good. The show wasn't terrible. But there was one sketch they did where the whole thing was like they were on a bachelor party, and one of the guys at the bachelor party, his best friend was that Sebastian.
I saw that Maniscalco.
Right.
And
now
he
here's
was like, have you seen me?
Right. Which,
that was hilarious.
Very funny. However, number one, you have to assume that whoever's the audience watching that knows who the fuck that guy is because it looks,
it almost had legs. I feel like
it didn't.
I don't know.
Yeah, it did not.
Because I know who he is.
Yeah, it landed in that but I guarantee 8 out of the 10 people watching that are like, all right, this is funny, but who is this guy? Like everyone's like Googling.
And then the question is it funny enough to be like, I got to see who this guy is, so I'm in on the joke, or is it just like, yeah, moving on?
No,
I don't know.
They in order for that sketch, again, I know people are going to love it when I do this, but in order for that sketch to really pop, the person that you invite on that bachelor party has to be much more recognizable. Like to have, not that Sebastian blah 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 isn't recognizable, but like, okay, for example,
has he ever hosted? I wonder.
I don't know. But
he's at the level where he
could I mean, look, the guy's a huge star. Like, I get it, but if you don't watch stand up, you're not going to know who the fuck that guy is. Like, he's not like a movie star. Like,
he did. I mean, that movie with Robert De Niro. He's like, they want him to be a movie
They're
star.
doing their best with him.
They want him to be. I don't know that he's that recognizable.
Yeah, but you get my point where, okay, so if the sketch was like, hey, we're all at a bachelor party. Hey, hope you guys don't mind. I brought my friend, I don't know, fucking Frank Sinatra. Then I think the gig, the joke would pop more, because then it would be like, how does he know Frank Sinatra? And Frank Sinatra's like taking over the whole thing, and everyone's excited that he's there. But then within like a minute, you're like annoyed because it's Frank Sinatra and he's like taking. But having Sebastian, you're like, he came off as being like this weird. Is this guy gay? He's wearing like a purple fucking a tank top, a mock turtleneck or whatever with a blazer. You're just like, what the fuck is this? So it didn't really work. It worked a little bit, but it didn't work like it could have worked. Like, for example, there was another sketch when Nikki Glazer hosted a week and a half ago, I guess it would have been. There was one where it was like she was dating a new guy, and the family went and did karaoke, and they went up to sing karaoke, and her new boyfriend came out and was doing really sexy songs with his sister. And that was the kind of gag, was like Nikki Glazer's watching, and she's like, oh my God, like, what is this? Or maybe she played the sister, but it was one or the other. And it was kind of like, and it was the whole sketch was basically like about how horrified she was that this guy was like grinding up against his sister. And it was funny, but then I was like, what would be really funny is if the guy brought his father up and he and his dad started making out. Like, if you would have like just turned to the volume a little bit, like it would have been, it's almost like they got close to it, but they didn't pop it. They didn't.
I would love if they brought you in to punch these things out.
I'm ready. I live right up the block.
Like, instead of Sebastian, how about Rip Taylor? Or
I just have horrible. I get one really great idea and the rest are terrible. I'm like, instead of Sebastian, how about, I love Sebastian. How about Sebastian Bach from Winger?
There you go.
He's available.
From Winger.
Matter of fact, I know him on Facebook. Let me call him right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, Peter _ Brennan writes, Brian, don't give SJ your number. And he also wrote, is that Skakel in the background? That is not, I don't know if that's a joke.
Justin?
He's saying Earl Skakel, but I don't know.
Oh, that I think he means from Bennington. Oh, we should talk about that for 2 seconds.
Skakel.
I don't know. Is that Earl? There's a guy named
Earl Skakel, but he's not I don't know why he would say.
Well, there's a guy named Earl who's on Bennington who is black, and he's matter of fact,
that's a different Earl.
Oh, okay.
Earl Skakel's a white guy from California.
Oh,
I don't know. Anyways, but he said don't give Stuttering John your number. Which, by the way, he did ask me to. I'll give you his number.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's funny because I got a call from somebody who had a Nigerian accent, and he goes, "This is Stuttering John.
Mm-hmm.
Can I please have the first band you saw, the street your mother grew up on, and the last 4 digits of your social?" And I was like, "You're such a joker."
Yeah,
and I gave him all of that.
You're a goofball.
I said, "Okay, fine." He goes, "Thank you." And then I lost over $1,800 in my bank.
Baba Booey.
Yeah, the fa-fa-fo-hi. God.
Thank you.
Well, luckily Howard's on vacation again because he was on. I think Howard's contract is he does the show for 3 weeks, then he's on vacation for 2 weeks. Then he's on the show for 3 weeks, then it's 2 weeks. But his contract is coming up in January. If anybody's asking me, I think he's going to re-sign because
there's
too much money on the table, and I think they're going to get 2 more years out of him, and he's done.
Yeah, because like you can't really ever retire if you just sort of sit in a chair.
I mean, dude. At
I
this
mean, you're gonna see when you're like old and crazy, you sit in a chair and just talk anyways, right?
at this point, he does the show from his house out in Long Island in the South Fork. I don't know if it's East Hampton or Southampton or whatever. And then when they come back from break in January, he will have moved down to Palm Beach, and he has everything set up down there. And look, I loved the show. And now it's like it's the Howard Stern. Listen to him. He tries to play the guitar, and it's all this guitar stuff, and they have all this musician stuff on. They have some guy called Billy Strings on the show, and it's fine, but it's just like
Playing his bluegrass.
it kind of breaks my heart because like I loved the show, and I'm still. It's like going to like an old restaurant that you used to love, and you're like, instead, you're like, I still go for the Parker House rolls, but the Parker House rolls now they don't serve them hot anymore, and it's like,
it's hard to have like people that can sort of go the distance. I feel like most of the people that I really admired are really into got sad at some point or just lame.
Well, it's also like when now that everybody like on that show, on Howard's show, like they all do they have this huge, listen, we all know I'm a pretty big deal in show business. And, I've been to Sirius XM many times. I've pitched many shows there. None of them have, I was not hired to be the voice of Yacht Rock. I think we all know that story. Yeah. But like they have an entire fucking wing of that building on 6th Avenue devoted to the Howard Stern show. And I know that they do work out of there, and I know they have like writers and things like that, but they have a whole studio, and it just sits. I don't know. Do they dust it? I don't even know. But it's like, so now everyone does the show remotely. A lot of people, they all have these sort of remote setups where they live in their homes.
So he and Rob, like they're not in the same
Robin's
place.
got some health. Robin has health issues. I don't.
Oh, what about then like the celebrity interview? Obviously, they're not in his house, so they're via satellite.
It depends. They have it set up where, if it's a big deal celebrity like a Springsteen or somebody, he will bitch and moan, and he'll come in, and he has a fucking massive apartment. I know right where his building is on 69th.
Oh, he'll come into the studio.
He'll come into the studio. Yeah. Gotcha. And he complains about it, and he comes in the studio, and they do the show, and he'll do it. But a lot of times, even then, he'll be on a Zoom or whatever it is, remote show, and the celebrity or the guest or whatever will be in the studio. So they'll come into New York to do, Fallon or whatever, and one of their stops will be to do Howard.
But they just go to Howard's studio and got you.
And
he talks to them from Long Island.
Yeah, and sometimes if it's like a musical performance, that they'll even set up the whole, because they have performance space in Sirius XM.
Yeah,
they'll set the whole thing up in Howard. I guess they'll just drop in a fucking Vizio 32-inch plasma TV, and Howard just shows up and he's like, "Hi, this is great. Hi," and then anybody likes Cat Rescue? So I'm just like, you just sort of, I don't know. And I do wish that that they would, and then but then they're constantly having like technical problems, like someone like Richard will be on or Sal or somebody, and the show will drop out and they'll lose it, and I'm like, what are we doing here? Like,
that's great. You would think that,
but I mean, like, I understand because it's a lot of cables flying back and forth, and everyone's in a remote location. Like, I understand why you would have the problems, but like, you have a studio there, like everybody's getting paid a lot of money.
You would think they would have that worked out at that level. Right. But I mean, that sometimes I remember one time watching, I don't know if it was there was a big like NSYNC did like a big comeback or whatever. God. And it was like going to be a big deal. And their audio was just like crunched. Like it was like,
it happens.
And that was the main broadcast. And if like on CBS or whatever. And I couldn't believe, I was like, holy shit, stuff like that's happened to me on podcasts, and I feel terrible.
Yep.
But it's like, to have it happen at that level is insane.
And then, but think of it this way: if you're doing 12 hours of show a week, you're going to have one or two hiccups.
Yeah, like definitely, for sure, throwing things back and forth.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I understand, but you know how you wouldn't have any hiccups? You have all this shit in the studio anyway.
Right. You just do the show and send the signal out.
Go to fucking work. Even if you're only making, let's say Howard's making $100 million a year, just go in and do it.
And it's also like, the thing is he's out in wherever, he's out in the Hamptons. It's not like he leaves the house, or probably really does much anyways, where he's not fully escorted. It's like, why couldn't you just have a fucking, which it sounds like he does have a great apartment that's right there that you could just you could have a tunnel. You can have somebody like
Well, I know
a
that
boy bring you over on a golf
Oh,
cart.
Fuck yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bunch of boys.
Yeah.
Boys.
Golf cart made of boys.
Exactly.
Boys.
A human golf cart made of
human golf
9-year-old boys.
Texting myself.
Yeah.
Human golf cart made of boys.
Yes,
is gonna be the title.
I feel like a hole in one. I feel like a real whore in one. They'll have to laugh at
Yeah.
my bad double entendre
Mhm.
jokes. So which one of you is from Cambodia? I can't tell the difference. Vietnam, Cambodia. You're all Oriental. What I mean by that is I want to lie on all of you like a rug.
Right.
Like-
Peter Brennan writes,
Peter.
my bad, thought that was Earl on green screen. F. Carl. I don't know if he was making a joke that's very much not Earl.
I sound like one
I
of
think
those.
maybe that's what the humor is.
Okay, gotcha.
And he says F. Carl. He's talking about Carl Heberger.
Yes. Hello, everybody out there. Our new friends. Whatever that is. Hi, guys. Hello. But anyway, so that's my whole thing. So it's like, so with Howard, I cannot imagine he's not going to resign. I have it on authority.
Yeah,
know
you
somebody-
got an inside scoop.
Well, no, but let me call Laura. What I was going to say is I know that like it's got to be pretty miserable for Beth because I think,
That's his wife,
his
right?
wife, yes. And I know she's like, she likes to do fun. It's like, it's no fun to marry somebody who's that rich and then you have to sit around the house all day long
until they die.
Yeah. But I mean, his mother's 9 years old. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Howard's only
He
73.
is one of those guys that would live.
Oh, just
He will live into his 90s.
bury
So she's
everybody.
got a good
yeah,
20
she's-
years.
It's a real deal with the
go.
devil, that one. But it's
Ah,
like, so she comes in, but it's like, you're doing the show. And I know, look, for years and years and years, that guy got up at 5 a.m, went in, did till 11, 9, Monday through Friday, blah, 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 blah. And I know you're sort of enjoying the fruits of your labors, but like, if the show now is all you're doing is complaining about how you never get a chance to like practice guitar, and it's just like, and then sometimes the show is great. Sometimes it's fucking great. Like sometimes they have on the Vomit Guy, and I listen and
okay.
I love it.
Oh,
and
so they still do fun stuff.
they still do fun stuff. The show
okay.
it's enough where like it's almost like you just want to. It's like when you have a dog that is 14 and can once in a while just lays around the rug panting, and then you're like. You throw a ball from him one day when his arthritic medication actually works and his joints aren't too swollen and he can retrieve the ball once. And you're like, oh, there's Sparky. He still got it.
Mhm.
And then he comes back and just shits on the rug and just lays on. You're like, oh, well,
Yeah,
maybe
there's the moments.
yeah, it's you're definitely like enjoying the show here and there. I did hear from Steve Grillo.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of
What's the Grillo report?
well, Steve Grillo, he lives in Las Vegas. I don't know, like we should get like a more formal update from him, but
Sure.
I put him in touch with Vic Legina, and I believe that Grillo is going to be living with Vic Legina. I could be
Okay.
wrong. When I say living with him, Vic has a beautiful, gorgeous house way, not way out, but in somewhere in Vegas, and he has a guest house that he wants to rent to Grillo. So if that's not a reality show, I don't know what is, but I think that number one, Vic's really funny and he's very smart and he's a really nice guy, and Grillo's great too. So if it's
Well,
like,
it's like I said this before, you're not going to get like a wackier neighbor. You know what I mean? Like as far as like sitcom goes,
Yeah.
like a Grillo
yeah,
out back is like that's perfect.
yeah. You could call the show like a sitcom. Call it like Grillo's Got It.
Yeah,
Like everything you're like you need.
Yeah.
Everything, anything you need. He's like 45 minutes away from Grillo's got. Hey,
yeah,
Grillo,
Grillo's got-
Grillo, like
or he knows a guy. He's
or
got
like-
a guy. That,
it's always like a weird thing where like every episode of the sitcom, it's like Grillo takes out the recycling, but he thinks you're like, man, I wish my mother's coming to visit. And Grillo like takes your mother out to the recycling thing, and it turns out your mother is at the recycling center, and the whole episode is you're gonna get your mother back, and
yeah,
you're like Grillo, and he's like, what? I rinsed her off like I did the plastic.
yeah. You would have to have a
Like a
catchphrase
catchphrase?
too when he walks into because he lives in the back house, but when he comes into the main house to get something,
Yeah.
he would need to be like,
That's my ice cream. Write your name on the ice cream or
Hey,
something.
"You
Yeah.
missed the spot."
Yeah.
you know
If
what I
you-
mean?
yeah.
Like,
If it's yours, write your name on it. If it's yours, write your name on it.
if it's yours,
That could be a good.
I like it. I
Okay,
like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I like it.
So
I
anyway,
think
but it was
Steve
funny
Grillo-
because I talked to Vic about it, and I was like, hey, Steve Grillo, and he knew who Grillo was.
This
And I go,
might be the fourth week we've had the same conversation.
Fair
Just so
enough.
you know.
Okay, sorry. I know.
Unless you have a new update.
Moving on. No, I do have it in that I talked to Grillo a few days ago. So
okay. So
my new update. So I don't need to rehash the shit.
Okay.
But the newest update is there's no update. So there you go.
okay. I mean, listen, no problems. Good problem.
Right. So, but we
As
do.
the adage goes.
So and again, this is where we really are going to tickle your ass with a feather. So last Friday, we took a little field trip to Gallagher's to lay a
I
little.
would call it a work event.
It was a work event. We wanted to lay a little ground fire for the upcoming Christmas meet and greet. And so we decided we should go out there, maybe a little Korean barbecue if we could fit it in, just kind of pop in to see what's going on with the place.
Right.
And we are going to discuss the details on Patreon. So I'm sorry to bring it up and be like, or if you join the YouTube show, you'll hear it immediately.
Yeah.
But Adam, and I again, we're going to kind of touch on this very quickly and we'll move on. But there's a dancer there, and Adam made a connection with the dancer, and then Adam had a date with the dancer. And we're just going to, and I know I'm already fucking it up, but let's just leave it right there, more or less.
Yeah.
But I will say this about the trip to Gallagher's was overall, it was, and I mean this in the most charitable way I can say it, not a great experience at Gallagher's. Unfortunately, I feel like, and by the way, a good experience at Gallagher's is never a great experience at Gallagher's. That's kind of the charm of it.
Yeah.
But it was not great. I think we made the joke before the show that they need that guy from Bar Rescue to come into Gallagher's and I don't know, do some sort of demographic survey or something, or pie chart or something. But you realize over 40 people a year walk past Gallagher's and they each have at least $10 in their pocket because it's on a desolate corner of a street. But anyway, my point is we went there and we met a friend there, and I'm going
to say I was there 90 minutes.
Yeah, you were not there.
I was there 90 minutes.
And you had an experience, but
somehow
it was off camera, but yes.
Well, yeah, because right. And we're just we're teasing it. And we're kind of the reason why we're going to talk about it on the Patreons, because I don't know that I want to talk about it on the thing that's yes.
Adam said that's because we all know, I think we can say on the free show, Adam is in a polyamorous relationship with his girlfriend, and they're sort of in the second inning of this experiment. And but the interaction that he had with the entertainer at Gallagher's was not a sanctioned.
It's all sanctioned, but I'll just say, just to tease it, like I said, we were there 90 minutes,
right?
Probably, and somehow picked up a stripper in that or whatever, got her number in 90 minutes. You could almost say they're too good to be true.
Yep.
Maybe because it was.
Okay.
And that's all I'll say. But I will say to kind of what you're talking about, how maybe Gallagher's needs John Taffer to come in and create an accent wall, or maybe a mechanical bull or something fun, skee ball.
It's funny because we got there and we got to the bar and we sat down at the bar, and number one, the girl that you sort of we sat down at the bar, and that girl, the one that you were chatting with, she said that pretty early on. And at least that's my recollection. The girl that you were chatting with sat down pretty early on, I feel like.
Yeah. She kind of I'd never seen her there before.
Right.
She was new. She was American.
Yep.
So
that's a weird.
She could speak English well. It's it was almost like it was her first language. And so she was kind of like, what do you do? It was kind of like a, what are you doing here kind of thing. And so she just sort of made herself at home.
Well, and then we got there, and there's this South African girl that we always see when we get there.
Sure.
But the weird thing about her was she had her face painted like she was a 9-year-old girl that had gone to a street fair. Do you remember that? She had blue face paint, flowers and shit painted on her face. Do you remember that? She did.
Last time?
Yes.
That must have happened after I left, because I talked to her. She did not have that.
She had a blue kind of almost looked like pom-pom bottom.
Okay.
On. And then she had blue face paint on her.
I think that maybe she put that on afterwards, because I was standing there talking to her. Because there was a little bit of controversy over the because the gal I was talking to
Mm-hmm.
was like, all right, I'm gonna go up on stage, but like, don't go anywhere.
Right.
And then she had come up and we were chatting, and the other gal was like not cool with that. But I explained to her later on, I'm like, I already knew her. This was a pre-existing,
we know her.
long-standing relationship.
What I think is funny about that South African girl is, I remember the first time that we met her, which is like a fucking year ago or whatever. She was like, she had told me that she was going to the United Nations the next day. So every time I see her, I go, "How's the United Nations?" And she goes, "How do you know that?"
Yeah,
and I go,
"You told us all about it."
You told us all about it. She goes, "Oh well, don't tell anybody else." I'm like, "Who? What are you, a fucking spy for like the Zulu tribe or something?" I don't know. Sorry. And so anyway, so but like what had happened there was like the girls would come up. Number one, when you walk in that place, and you walk in there, there are like 11 girls that just sit there at the end of the table, at the end of the bar, and they talked with each other, and it's like they don't give a shit.
Maybe they already made the money before we got there. Is that because since we kind of get at the end of the shift,
get there at 5. They're there for another 3 hours. Like,
but they open at noon.
Yes.
So maybe they already did well.
Maybe they're sitting on stacks of singles because there's nobody in that fucking place. I mean, there were if there were 10 other people in there, I would have been blown away.
Sure.
There were maybe 10, maybe 14, but I don't even think so. But so you go in there, you sit down, and those girls, they sit there and they don't. Some of those girls are like the cutest girls in the place. So you're kind of like, all right, I guess.
Yeah, a couple of them are.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, so they're there, and then we sit down, and then these girls come up to you kind of one by one, and like, I mean, again, you're not getting top shelf liquor at that place on a good day.
But some of them are not bad.
But that on this particular trip last Friday,
you were not happy with.
The cutest one was one you were talking to, without question.
I don't think so.
Well, the one that talked to us, I know what you're talking about, but like there were other cute ones there, but they were like, I don't know, they were eating like fucking buffalo wings and talking with their friends, and they were not anywhere near. It was like they could have given. I feel like I was at a Catholic school dance where it was like,
they were and I was telling like my new friend, I was telling him like I feel like I get profiled at those places because they say like he's an unassuming white guy,
right?
That I think that they think I'm going to be into like the European chicks or the Asian chicks or whatever.
By the way,
and I'm like, no, bring it on.
Not one European girl.
Bring on the BBL.
It was all Black or Hispanic or whatever. There was nobody there. No, not even maybe that night there, whatever it was. But anyway, and then there was that same girl. For those of you, there's a guy, the drug dealer guy, whose name I can't remember.
She was there. She was there,
and
the
there's
Puerto Rican gal,
and she is as mean as a garter.
She's mean.
Snake.
She's nice looking, I will say. And this happens to me every single time. Every time we go there, I go hubba, and then I remember, she's like a real hustler.
Yeah. Real hustler.
She's nasty.
She's nasty. And if you don't, and she always says the same thing too. She comes up to you and she goes, "I'm angry with you." And you're supposed to go, by the way, not a great opener, but
right. I bet 1 in 10 guys is just rock hard though.
Exactly.
They like have a weird angry wife fetish.
Did I give my wife leukemia? Did I give her leukemia? Is that why I'm here? Because I gave her leukemia. But the guy, she goes, "I'm angry with you." And I knew, and by the way, that guy
angry. I'm sore with you.
That guy's masterful because she walked up, the two of them. He took one look at her, she took one look at him, and he was like, keep going. I'm not even interested in you. Keep going. He shut her.
Yeah,
he shut her down last year.
He
shut her down.
What his name was.
Yeah.
We need him
with his liquid cocaine spray
and
ketamine
cocaine
spray.
And ketamine.
But that girl was like, she did not. So anyway, she comes up, and I knew I've been there 3 times in the last 4 years, maybe. I mean, maybe more, something like that. But anyway, my point is like, same thing every time I've ever seen that girl. And she goes, "I'm angry with you." And I this time around, I said, "I know why, because last time you said I was going to get a room with you and I didn't. And that's why you're angry. Yeah, you said you were, so now you owe me a double room." And she's trying to be cute. She has a huge forehead, great body, but she's like,
okay. I don't really ever saw her really that close up.
Well, there's a reason why she's working the day shift. I don't mean to be unkind, but she's but she comes up and she's like, "I know that, you better X, Y, and Z." And I was like, "Hi." I said, "Listen, I've met you before. It's such a pleasure to see you again, but I'm good. I'm not interested, but thank you. Good luck.
Mhm.
What do you mean you're not? And
God
then-
bless.
Yeah, God bless. Assalamu alaikum. But she like gets into it then. And then she's like, so
Yeah.
what? You don't want to dance with me? And you're like, hi, yeah, I'm okay. But thank you.
Yeah.
I get it. You're gorgeous.
What
But
the fuck?
and then she goes like, well, why don't you give me a tip then? And the thing is and this seems to be a new thing at Gallagher's. I understand the gratuity on the other side of the bar when they walk around and
Mhm.
they they
Mhm.
ask you for $1 or $2 or whatever. That's
Yeah.
fine. But to hit you up for a tip on the other side of the bar, then it's like on both sides. It's like you
Yeah.
feel like you're in like one of those like livery cab lines at the airport or something. You're like, no, I don't want to ride from you. You don't have a medallion on your hood.
Mhm.
And so she was like, she goes, well, do you want a massage? I'm like, I don't want it anywhere near
Boy,
me.
they are just gonna
I
kinda
know.
rotate your tires.
I know. I'm like,
You need a protective
and
undercoating.
and there's an air of desperation, and it seems
Oh.
new there.
Dude, we are gonna if you think just remember air of desperation because I'm gonna tell you this story on the Patreon and
Okay.
it
Ooh.
is insane.
Okay. Good stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway,
we take it like 5 steps further
gotcha.
from
Okay. I'm
from where-
very excited to hear Adam's because so think about this one. Adam was with us, and then Adam gets up to leave, and then I actually wanted to get away from some other girl. So I told
Mhm.
Adam, I was
yeah,
like,
you're like, I'll walk you. I'll
Yeah.
walk you to your backpack.
yeah. I said, I'll walk into your backpack.
Uh-huh.
And you're like, oh no, it's over there. I said, no, I'll walk you towards your
Say, no, I couldn't possibly.
No, let's go. Do you need help with your straps?
Yeah.
Can I help you adjust your straps on your backpack?
There's your carabiner.
Oh, this is a lanyard. It's nice. Is this
Yeah,
is this an American lanyard, or do you get this made in Canada? So anyway, so I walk you over, and I just go, and we were saying our goodbyes, and I said,
Uh-huh.
and you go, I got that fucking girl's number. I got her
Yeah.
number, and we're gonna make something happen. I said, wow, no shit, look at you. So that was, and then when you left, and then it was only yesterday, I think you and I talked, and you were like, hey, by the way, I hooked up with her.
Oh, I didn't say I hooked up.
well,
with-
okay, you
I
hooked up.
didn't say I
My-
said we
My words,
saw each other.
You saw each other. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get to that story on the Patreon. We're gonna get there. We're gonna do that. Maybe we should jump over there pretty. How long?
Yeah,
oh,
we're right. We're like landing the plane. We hit an
Okay.
hour.
Okay, good. Hey, everybody, listen. Have a lovely Thanksgiving. Okay, don't eat too much turkey. You're gonna fit in those pants. And please remember, consider joining the Patreon. Consider joining the YouTube. It's
Yeah.
not a thing. It's not that expensive. We're not like these other shows where we have advertisers and we try to sell you lipstick or big dick pills or
Mhm.
wallets that you can bend in half with titanium or any of that horse shit and mattresses or anything. Granted, no one's asking us to sell those, so
Right.
we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But so the only support we have is from you young men and young women.
Mhm.
So we really
the
appreciate
few,
it.
the proud.
The very few, and probably more proud than you should be. Let's be honest. But and that's it. And we will not be here next Friday because it is Thanksgiving. But then we're gonna run hot and heavy through December. And,
Oh yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna give you Barry Ribs PayPal if you guys want to get together and get together $50 for him. I guess we'll have to have him on.
Mhm.
But don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Don't interrupt me. Okay,
Barry, nobody's saying anything.
that's the joke, Barry. I
It's
understand
quiet,
it.
it's
Yeah.
quiet.
Oh, I did listen back on the clip, and he did laugh when he goes, "You still do a show?" And I said, "Oh, nice to meet a fan." And he laughed. I was like, "All right,
Pretty
well,
good.
yeah, pretty good."
It would be fun to have him on. We'll figure it out. Maybe when he's up here. Anyways.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
If
We
he's
got
if he's in the neighbor, we'll have him on. But yeah, we can't be like
yeah, it's far enough away where he's got to like stay overnight or something. Imagine if he shows up and he's got like a bedroll, like
yeah.
a World War I Tommy from
Foot
like
Locker, yeah.
it's got like one of those helmets with a big pike on the top of it. I got to fight the Kaiser in the morning.
Mhm.
Can I rinse out my gas mask? It's covered in mustard gas, and I don't mean Fleischmann's. Making mustard gas
He's
jokes.
like looking at the camera. You're like,
Yeah.
there's no
There's
camera.
no camera here.
See
Exactly.
what it take.
Yeah, sorry. I got the clap when I was in France in 1918. Anybody say hello to or anything? Were you okay?
Just the usual folks.
Hello, you
Hi,
folks.
hi to everybody.
Hi to
But hey,
everybody.
listen, if you want to become a you can join the Patreon. It's patreon.com/Brian McCarthy.
right
You can
there.
join there. The show is up later tonight. Thousands of hours of bonus shows, ringtones,
Thousands.
videos.
It's all kind
I
of stuff.
think
It's an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah, I think
So-
there's a mini series made for TV mini series on there.
Yep.
Or if you want to join, you can join actually on mobile if you want to
just
now, or on your desktop or whatever. If you want to watch the live stream right now,
let's do it.
I'm going to incriminate myself. And you can join there if you want to be a YouTube member. So it's like there's a million ways you can do it.
Yep. And remember, if you're Adam's girlfriend on the Patreon, he's just kidding.
Yeah, right. I'm just goofing around.
We're having fun. Everybody have a great Thanksgiving for our international friends. Have a great last Thursday in November, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Okay. Bye, everybody.